All right, good morning, guys. Welcome back. Let's catch up quickly on all our bigger time frames and setups just to see where we are, and then we're going to jump straight into the 1 minute trading with the DAX. We'll start with the Dow. Yearly high low, we're sitting around that 77. It's still early days in this week, but very small candles so far. At 77's holding strong support. Moving average is struggling for the last 2 weeks now to get that crossover. So starting to squeeze a little bit. Let's see if we're going to get below that 50 moving average to get a real confirmation in a change in trend. Otherwise, we still have that target outstanding at the 89. That consolidation at 50 and broke up and very close last week to those highs, pulled back, and we're sitting around that 77. So still outstanding, but we're stuck between those levels. I've got no shorts this time frame unless we get below this 38.2, but we can look for, if we start getting below this 50 moving average, is then into the consolidation area. So often we see the other side, especially if we get a close inside there. The trend very difficult to identify in this time frame. We look at the stochastic, it's above the consolidation area. Signal line is still nice and high there, so we'll watch this and follow through, but any time for this, we know that this is a weekly time frame.
Jump to the monthly on the Dow, we can currently see also still struggling in that consolidation area for a couple of days now, almost like 5 days. We did get a candle close above that level, haven't broke the candle high above 61.8. So current level of support, that 50 resistance 61.8. 8 and 21 kind of on top of each other at the moment. Trend is still down, price is below the 50 moving average. You can see 8 slightly below 21. Stochastic signal line inside of the consolidation area, so a breakthrough below 38.2, and price pushing more towards the low of consolidation, which means might probably still be testing that 38.2. Below that, we want to aim for the 11, but let's give it some time. As I said, a lot of consolidation happening the last couple of days. So break above 61, we aim for 89. Break below 38.2, we aim for the 11.
Wow, the stochastic was very consolidated at the moment. Signal line below that 50, but the stochastic is sparking around that 50. So stochastic talking to our levels there. Weekly high low, it's pretty much the same story. So we got that trigger last night. I mean, I was sitting with Pat and Sammy was trading, and I called that. It was late, but remember, these levels are valid for the week. So triggered and then stopped out. It's a much tighter range this week than it was last week and the week before. So we really want to get a nice clear break out of this consolidation. If we look at the moving averages, it's the same story on the bigger time frames. Everything is kind of on top of each other around the 50 moving average as well. Very difficult. We're so squeezed. And we'll see that on the ABCs. It's very difficult to see the ABCs in the bigger time frames at the moment. But yeah, next setup, short below the 38.2. Let's watch for the longs above the 61.8. Again, very difficult. Stochastic is in the consolidation area. Signal line is still below the 50. So if we do go up and we break, especially yesterday and Friday's, that double top level, we can then aim for that 89 and 77. Let's see if we can get the stochastic out of consolidation, and more specifically between this 89 and 100, like there, then we know above the 89, if it stays there, we want to remain long. We can get that nice trend up, but we need to get out of all of this mess here. And I will get to in a second. There's the ABC. So we've got a few possibilities here. Running out of time for ABC from the top down here. So I had it like this before. See a possible B for C retracement. We've already got so many weeks there. So I've moved it. And as I said, it's not very easy. That could not be blue B. So it couldn't be C for A, B, C, and the blue, because we cannot draw a line from 0 to B there without breaking the bodies of any candles. So we've had to move it down here. That works out, but again, 1, 2, in the third week of that now. So that's still a possibility. It's a lot easier to see it in the smaller time frames. So if we look at yesterday, still A, B, C ending in double top here. If we jump to the 5 minute, we'll see it a little bit better there. Here we go. So we had a little C, A, B. Hit the first target, got about halfway to second target. So we'll see if that goes. So it just came back a little bit. The break of this, it's low. That cannot be B. We'll look again. So that's still in play. We can still get to this ABC target. If we do reach that, then we can look at extended ABC targets there. But it's very, very sideways. We can see it on the 5 minute there as well.
100% on the daily high low for the Dow. We did get, we have respected the 50, but personally for me, I would wait for break of those lows. But today you can see kind of a solid full bottom foundation there just below 38.2. So definitely candle close break previous candle low. I would consider it as a trigger, but I would rather wait for break of those lows and then push it towards the 11 with first target being 23. Other than that, short below that will only be below zero. Next long, however, will be break above 61.8, meaning we'll create new highs for the day so far. We'll aim for 77 first target, 89 final target. And at the moment is starting to change a little bit. We're starting to get that 821 crossover on the 5 minutes. You can really see that. And stochastic is below signal line and pushing below 38.2. So it does look good for the shorts at the moment. As I said, just wait for a break of those lows.
Yeah. I did call this short earlier on, and then it came back and stopped out just now. As Monet said, with the signal line above 50 now, with the stochastic breaking through, I much more prefer this one to that first little trigger there. But
especially since it is coming above 89.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. You know, it's coming from these highs there. What we really want to see is just a break of the lows to get that follow through to there. Opening range we'll get to in a little bit. We'll post those just after 10. Let's catch up with the Nasdaq. So there's our weekly high low, and a similar story around the 50 moving average on the end of week. The trend is still down according to the moving average. It's green below red. We are below that 50 moving average. We're in the consolidation area. So we're still looking for short below 38.2, aiming for the 11, or above the 61.8, aiming for the 89. Very consolidated, and the stochastic is telling the same story. So around the 50 level, the signal line is still nice and high. Let's see if we're going to get that follow through, at least going back to that 89 moving average, which in time, I mean, we can see how everything is just starting to catch up as we've gone a bit sideways the last 3 weeks or so.
We took a look at the monthly, currently trading below that 38.2. So initially we have reached that first target 23, but we want to be aiming for that 11 still, meaning if we do go to the 11, meaning we'll break the previous low, possibly going towards the previous double bottom levels. If we do push below 11, we want to aim for that 0 level, but currently we can see trend is down 50, above 21, above 8. Stochastic and signal line both trading below 38.2. However, 50 stochastic is above the signal line. So for me, above 61.8, rather aim for that 89, but we have to get past that 50 moving average first, which can be extremely strong. But we can see price has tested that 50 level with the second day of this month. Broke down below 38.2. So let's see if we do enter back into the consolidation going towards the 50, or if we just go and test the previous last month's bottoms.
Sure. Weekly high low, we haven't had any setups here. We didn't get that respect to the 50 yesterday, so we're still only looking for shorts below the 0. 127, negative 127, 161 is our target levels. Above the consolidation, looking for the longs there. So nothing really here for us. The trend on the hourly is down. Green below red, below the 50 moving average. The stochastic still a bit consolidated. But it's looking good for follow through down through the 38.2. We want to see that. So probably a break of yesterday's lows. We might get that push and then aim towards at least double bottoms on the lows of last week. But we've really got no setups here at the moment. PCs, that's a very similar story to the Dow. I've had to move them because we cannot draw a line from 0 to B if that was B without breaking the body of any candle. So we've moved it. There's possibility of 0A, B, C. We've got a bit of time there for that still to happen. In the smaller time frame from yesterday's lows, a little A, B, possibility for a C up to give us that red A. Not quite a double top there like being in C. We still have the possibility of that being C. So let's go look at that on the 5 minute. And there it is. So I've just taken that fib, 100 to or 0 to A. Retracement's about a 61, between a 61 and a 77% retracement. A break of that cannot be B. The possibility of B still being at 77 or 89 is still there. So this could still be an A for a B and then C up. We've got to give it some time.
Going to the daily high low, next trigger short below 0. You can see trend is down on the 5 minute. 50 is above 21, above 8. However, we still have the low of today. We are currently testing just below that 11 at the moment, so definitely break of that. See price is trending down by creating lower lows. So next trigger short below 0. Next trigger long only above 61.8. We'll need a whole new trend reversal above, even above the 155 for that. But we can see stochastic is below signal line and even below 38.2 as well. So that would be very good if we can get a trigger short below the 0. First target minus 127. Profit at the 161.
What I like about the stochastic, look how it's come down hard. So what from the 155 moving average down, stochastic straight down through 50. It is bouncing a little bit now, but we've got this 5-minute candle to go now. Remember the rule on the stochastic. Down through 50 in a straight line, down through 11, we still have 60% of the run to go. So 60% of this run, if we look at that, from there to there, we've still got, so if that's 50 points, it's still another 30 points from there. So it's not huge. It's probably around 10-0. We're going to watch for the double bottoms there on the 5-minute. Very possible there. As you said, the trend is down. Indices we've looked at, let's catch up with the ALSI. Here's our weekly picture. So the yearly high low, tough one. In this 101.27, broke that a few weeks ago, found support. Support now is the 100. Resistance is the 127. We're between these levels. That's still an outstanding target at 127. Specifically, if we can break these highs, we should see that 127. And then above that, we're aiming for the 161. Remember that psychological number of the 70,000 still outstanding. We're only about 1,000 points away from that. We got so very close there. But we might still see that this week, possibly today. There's quite a bit of upward movement here. The trend is up clearly, green above red above blue, and stochastic above the 89. If it stays there, we want to remain on. We've had quite the trend on this time frame.
Take a look at the monthly on the ALSI, also trading above 77. Initially, we are very close to that target 89. We have pushed, as Rena said, we found support previously around that area as well. We can see we found support inside of that consolidation, not necessarily on the 50 level. We did get a break in there. They didn't close below that, closed above 61 still, and then just pushed all the way above 77. So we're currently still aiming for the 89. It's up 8 above 21 above 50. Stochastic is above signal line, trading above the 89 area at the moment. So we're just going to still aim for that 89 above the 100. We also want to be long, but let's just see how we react to resistance from that 89. As we know, that is also a very strong level according to the fibs.
Our current ABCs is very similar to this. But if we look at the time, kind of like running out of time, it's more than 15 days. But there's the possibility that in the bigger picture, this is A, B, 77, 89% retracement for C down there. And I'll just jump there, and I know I'm skipping the weekly high low, but we'll look at that now. So you can just see it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 days. 13 days to get us up B. It gives us really 2 or 3 days to see down. And we know distance for distance generally the same, also in time. So very, very tough for the ABCs at the moment.
To take a look at the weekly high low, also currently trading above that 100 level. So we did get a trigger long. Yesterday we closed above that 100. This morning we opened above the 100, so that was 100% valid. So that is a trigger for a long. Almost hit first target 127. That's a great amount of points so far, but still we are aiming for that 127, and then final target 161. Stop to entry at the 127. So next trigger short will definitely be below the 100 because we're already like halfway above that 100 level. But you can see trend is there's a lot of momentum to the upside. Price is just breaking previous lows like it's nothing. 8's above 21 above 50. Stochastic is above signal line, as Reno said, above that 89. We always want to remain long. So still that first target 127 is outstanding, so we'll keep it there. Remember, first target that is top to entry, but next short is below the 100.
There's our daily high low. We have triggered long. Yes, we got very close to that 127. Let me zoom in a little bit. I know Tian called this morning as well. Nice little run up there, very, very close. That's still in play. The profit levels at the 160. One didn't quite hit the 127 for stop to entry. Our stop loss is at 77. We can now possibly look at short below the 100. We got very close to that 127, and it was a nice run. I think it was about 200, almost 300 points from there to there. So, yeah, technically, candle close below the 100. Very previous candle low. We can aim for the 61.8 is our target. generally for me, I'd like to see the first target hit at least, because so often if we haven't hit there, you're still in that trade. You know, our stop is only at the 77 here. Now, you know, you're in a trade for a long and you want to now look at a short, and yeah, it's a little bit, you know, we know 100 and 0 levels we tend to overtrade. So for myself, I'd at least like to see a respect to that 127. However, though, we got very, very close to that, and it was about a 300-point run there. That was horrible. Opening range is such a horrible range this morning. And you look from the 61 to the 77 was only about 79 points. It's not great. At the trigger, the risk reward 50-50, but it's just the range wasn't there. But if you took that 100%, I mean, it would probably be about 100-point trade there, or just about 100 points. Not a great risk reward, and it's just the range was not fantastic. ABCs on the 5-minute also very difficult to see. As I said, from the hourly, I really haven't got anything from there. We've got to give this some time. It's really not so easy to check that out. Jump onto the DAX.
Cool. And on DAX, we can also see support currently, and still is that 61.8. You can see previously price pushed very close. About 3 weeks ago, pushed very close to that 50 level. Didn't really touch it, but still closed above. So we're still above that 61.8, initially above that level. We still want to be aiming for the 89 or even above 100 for the 127. So if we do respect the 50 below 38.2, we want to chase these targets to the downside, meaning the 11. You can see stochastic is trading inside of the consolidation and below the signal line at the moment. So you have to give that some time. And we did get the 821 crossover. So technically trend is down. But firstly, I would like to see the push below 38.2 and stochastic following down through 38.2 as well. With the watch for possible bounce, price going back to the 50. You can see this is the first time in a long time price has closed below the 50 moving average. So we might be expecting a little bit of a bounce as resistance on the 50, continuing the trend down. We can just break above it and chase the targets to the top side.
Yeah, I could do a little B retracement to 50 and then C aiming for that 89 moving average. But remember, these are weekly candles, so it takes time. Our daily picture, still got the target outstanding of the 11. The break of the lows, we're aiming for that 11. We're kind of stuck, and it's also now been a couple of days around this 23 level support. That's holding strong. The trend is clearly down. Green, red, blue, low, 50 moving average. Look at that stochastic below the consolidation. The signal line has moved below the 50 level now. So we'll watch for that possible bounce back to the 50 moving average, stochastic up through 50 there. If we get the follow through up to 61.8, we can maybe start looking at that up longs above the 61.8. But at the moment, my preference is still to be short, at least until we get that 11. Or if we get back into the consolidation area, we'll reassess.
Look at the weekly high low also next to the short. This candle closed below that 0. Trend is currently up. The trend has changed yesterday. Late afternoon, we did get that 821 crossover. So price is currently trending up, and it's even above the 50 moving average. Support is the 23.6. The next trigger for long is above 61.8. However, we still have the 89 moving average we have to face as resistance, and that incredibly strong resistance level 38.2. We know how strong the high and the low of the consolidation areas can be, but definitely of the 0, meaning we'll break previous lows as well. You can see almost created a small double bottom on that 0 level previously, but break below the 0 will be a trigger for shorts. Next long above 61, we'll be aiming for the 89. As I said, trend has changed yesterday during the day, so let's look for these targets at the upside. But keep in mind, we still have a lot of key resistance levels actually to the upside, meaning the 38.2 and that 50 of consolidation.
For sure, I just don't like the stochastic on the hourly. Look how there's just virtually no momentum, and we can see that. That's since last night, obviously. Yeah. Very, very sideways. But we've got opening in the next 7 minutes, or the UK opening at least. Hopefully that's going to give us a little bit of direction here. On the 5 minutes, there's our daily high-low. So I think we triggered long earlier on, then went straight back to the 77. Just triggered long, came back. So let's see. Signal line on the stochastic is above the consolidation area, so there's no valid longs on the stochastic here. Was a short down through. So as we broke down here, so hit the 100 and then came back down, we can see how that stochastic came from the highs nicely down through the signal line, broke the 50, in fact it broke the 38, and then it just pulled back up. 50 moving average is support. Being very close to crossing red, signaling a change in trend, but see how it just bounced again. I think maybe just a little bit of anticipation as we get to the UK opening. Then opening range we'll get to the next 20-30 minutes. Let's go to our 1 minute stuff and see where we are. So I'm trading the DAX this morning. Let's just quickly look. There was a change in the 5 minute on the 5 minute grid this morning. It was basically the same as our daily high lows, from the lows of yesterday to the highs, and then we broke. So we're trailing. If we get this moving average crossover now, that confirms our grid. We can start aiming for levels. Let me just move this round. It should be at the top. There we go. On the 5 minute grid, we're between the 89 and the 77, but remember that this grid hasn't been confirmed. We've got to get that moving average crossover. If we can get it now, for me, the next trade will probably only be 61 to 50. It's not the greatest range. It also doesn't give us the greatest risk reward. So if we can pull back in this no trading zone and then turn and get a crossover before we get to the 77, that is what I like. I like to trade that 77 to the 61. It gives us a great risk reward and a much nicer range trade, but we're going to give that opening to give us a little bit of time. So that's our 5 minute grid. Extension fib, had a little extension fib fail. Check out it, hit that 127 perfectly. So I'm now just trailing it from the high to the low there. Perfect 50% retracement. Really want to see that 61% retracement before we can draw a line from 0 to B without breaking the bodies of any candles. We just had a little trigger long up through 50s. 4 minutes to go for opening. So I would wait for myself for that. And then 1 minute grid. I don't think the lows have moved. It's from the lows of this morning to the high. This is about 12 points level to level there, or 10 points, give or take. It's not fantastic, but surely this can increase. So from the low to, or from the high to the low, that's our 1 minute grid. Opening price, this green line you'll see just there. All right, so we did have that little long on the stochastic. Just watch possibility of first leg up. Yeah, but for me, it looks like a little possible A for a C down.
Also do watch current resistance 89 of 1800.
Awesome. Oh, that's strong. Yeah, I've just got the ALSI, the daily high low on the left-hand side, just to keep an eye on that. Got 4 minutes to go for opening. I'm just going to mute the sound for the next 2 or 3 minutes, and I'll be back. All right, a couple of seconds to go for that opening candle. Let's see what that does. I'll give it a little bit of space just to get through the volatility. You can see that it's picking up as we go towards the first opening candle. And there it is. At the moment, the 5-minute trend is up. You can see that. Let me just zoom in a little bit so we can see that. 5-minute trend is up. It's about 21. 50 moving average is our resistance up and down through that. We can start looking at possible buy stops. I would really only put it at the highs here. But yeah, we've got this opening candle volatility. That first 5-minute candles, I generally just like to give it a space to decide what it's going to do. The green line over here is our opening price. Watch for support of that. 5 minutes a bit messy if we look at the zone moving averages. Also 50 moving average, they're holding a support.
The support at the moment is also the 77 of daily and 23 of weekly.
Line still below 50. So let's see if we get that stochastic up to 50. Watch the possibility of bottom. This is the 77 about 1 minute grid. That's starting to break. Extension to fail gives us about just under 20 points. Watch this 1 minute grid, possibility of 89% retracement. So it's still a possibility of a little A, B for a C up if that holds. Holding for now. And second 1 minute candle after opening. Stochastic up to 50 is valid for a long. Let's see how far we are from the 50 moving average now. Contrast, not bad. To take this little long just for the 5 points. Remember, its opening is quite volatile. There we go. Remember, it is opening. It can be quite volatile. I'll break the lows. I'll take the stop. I put back the 1132s on top of each other. We generally get nice momentum. There's a lot here. I need to get out of that. A bit of a 50-50 trade there, but 50 moving average and 5 is holding. I'm quite happy to take a stop at the break of these lows. Otherwise, going from 5 points, aiming at 50 moving average, and this 39 is just below it. Signal line just starting to move up, so stochastic is fapping around, and the signal line is moving up.
Right now, the 1 minute, you can see we didn't get a close below that previous 1 minute low yet. We pushed below, we didn't get a close below.
Yeah. Opening price support.
There we go.
Just need a little bit of push. 77, the 5 minute. That grid's almost confirmed, not quite yet. If we get this close of this 5 minute candle and it's red, we will confirm that grid.
That's a terrible looking 5 minute candle. So
Yeah. Struggling for follow through here. Minute to go for the next 5 minute candle. 55 is holding its resistance in the 1 minute. And there's our new 5 minute candle. Break those lows is my stop. I think that's going to hold.
The 155 in 1 minute is strong.
Yeah, strong resistance there. Opening price was no resistance as well. So support becomes resistance. Getting very close to stopping out here.
Next support 61.8 of daily.
So that can be strong support, eh?
Especially because the previous low tested exactly on 61.8.
We are starting to slowly but surely move into zone 1 there, to the downside of the zone moving average. Averages. 5 minutes still a bit messy. $11 and 33 still flush on top of each other. Stochastics. So if it wants to try again. Back at resistance 155, 50 moving average in 5 minute now. I don't have any zone moving average below the 50 moving average in 5 minutes. All kind of sitting on top of each other. Struggling with that 50 moving average in 5. The possibility of smaller than the bottom. What's the 89 of the 1 minute grid? We can respect that 89 and that can still be a little beef or C up. Break of this 89, that cannot be a B. We're going to look for the bottom and the possibility of like a little extension from fail on the 1 minute grid there. Only about from the 77 to the 89, about 10 points there. And give it a bit of space for that 89. But if we break that, it can't be beat. So I cannot have a stop further than that. I think we're looking for possible double bottom and then placing that 127. Minutes for the next 5 minute candle. Remember, it's still opening range. The second candle there. Just give it space for that 89. If it does break, I'm out. As I said, that can still respect and that can be a little bit for C up still, 89% investment. Bottom there. A roll of double bottom, 50% placement of the move ups there. So what I want to do is just put this extension from there. A 50% retracement back to my entry there. How quickly that 50 moving average is caught up. Resistance 50 moving average 5 and opening price of the day. It's that signal line. Let's see if we can break that and get that follow through up through the 50. Watch that 50% retracement on that little extension for, because that is 50% retracement off double bottom. With due respect, I'm going to have a stop here. How are we getting that push up again? Let's see if we can get the follow through. 50 moving average is resistance. 38.2 as well. So 61% replacement to that move. I just need to push to that 89. Good. Yeah. Now my stop is tighter. So break of the 61.8, I'll get out. We can go again. It's teasing, yeah. 50 moving average there. Even starting to pull away from the 33 now. Setting up for a little separation here. The 5-minute trend so difficult. It is slightly down. Not that easy. Look at that 61.8. I'll take a very tight stop. So much happening on the 5 minutes. We look at those zone moving averages. If we can get the follow through now, watch that 56. Now break of that 38, we should see this the 23. It's only 7 or 8 points. But this will have hit up here. Holding. Let's see if we can follow through. Oof, that's so close. And there we hit TP.
That was a beautiful trade. This one.
Yeah, not the easiest one. We had to sit in that for a little bit. I think it was, yeah, we managed these stops. So
we did have very strong support. I mean, 23 of weekly, 77 of daily, so it was a good hold.
Absolutely. Thanks for that.
I mean, if you take a look at today's lows and the highs so far, that was a perfect 89% retracement.
Yeah, so we still have that possibility of foresee up. Stochastic's broken, moving average is starting to cross. Next tension fib, next level is the 11. I've got to wait for 5 minutes to give me a clear idea of where the trend is before I'm going to start looking at the trend chaser here. 1 minute also needs to obviously confirm the trend up 8 above 21.
Still a couple of minutes here for opening range.
I haven't got any setups shorts right now. It's above 21 now on the 1 minute. I want to get that confirmation of 5 minutes before I start looking at that. You can see it's above 21 on the 5 minute. It's a bit ugly. That is slightly below, so we've got to wait for this candle to close. Closes green, you'll probably see that. So on the ALSI, we have hit that 127 first target, the daily high low, aiming for that 161. Perfect 77% placement on this little extension fib. Messy zone moving averages here. We can see what zone that is. We need to get this green above everything else. It's above 155, but you can see 39 and 50 still above that. So it's a little bit messy. I'm in the same story, but no trigger for short. Possibility of a small ALSI down here. But stochastic, our signal line is just not in the right place for any trades. It's a bit messy. 10 minutes to go for our opening range. I don't see anything right now. Let's get that green candle, 5-minute candle close, but it's still a bit on top of each other, 8 and 21. Clear, yeah, you see, as this candle turns red, it just pulls back. No clear. And up. We are above 50 moving average, but we want to see a nice green above red like we had there. And I'll start looking at that trend chaser and putting buy stops in.
You can't have an unpleasant opening.
No, that's not nice, eh? Really strong zones. The ALSI, we've closed above the 127. Suggestion always is then stop to entry. It's a nice range there. It's a nice run from that trigger. Yeah. So to first target 160 points, at least to stop to entry. Take profit is 425 points there. Signal line starting to approach at 50 now. I want to see it break above that 50 and even better if we get above the consolidation area before we start looking at the shorts. Hang on the 1 minute up. And on 5 minute, we'll confirm in the next 2 minutes, I'm sure, if it stays green. Remember on the grids, especially on the 5 minute, 5-minute grid is confirmed, but we only trade the 5-minute grid in the direction of the trend. So no 77 to 89. But if we break the 77 now and it stays below red, we can aim for that 61.8. That's about 28 points with a 20-point risk. It's not that bad. But this is messy. For me, I wouldn't take it. Like I said, I'd rather a little bit higher and then come off or at these lows, aim for the 50. Our top will be around the halfway level then. Which is resistance around 11. Look at that signal lines above the 50 now, approaching that 61.8. So stochastic down through 50 is valid for a short. Is there possible little A, B, C down? Getting above 21 on 5 seconds to go to get that next 5-minute candle. See if that 11 is going to hold. body at least.
Next level of resistance, we're pushing for that 100 of the daily high.
That's what the 89, the 5-minute as well.
About 6 more minutes to go for opening range.
Line above the consolidation area now. The trend on the 5-minute is up, and on the 1-minute is up. We can start looking at a buy stop. Need to slow. I'll take it manually if we break that double top. So it's extension fib fail as well as in chaser. I'll take it for the 5 points. Just watch for the double top. It's going to be too late to put a buy stop in there, so I'll just take it manually if it breaks. It's holding. That's broken. Only going for the 5 points. I think we're around that 100 of the daily high low, if I'm not mistaken. Broken that one, eh?
Yeah. Well, we're on that 100 at the
yeah,
moment, yeah.
But scared of that level. I'm going to have a tight stop here. In the no trading zone on the 5-minute grid.
From where we now, if you take a look at it, we have about 4.9 points, so you might just hit the TP there.
Yeah.
You can push us above the 100.
Maybe we can see the 11 of the 1-minute grid. We close above the 23, break previous candle high. We should see that 11 with our TP. If I had a buy stop, I would have got a much better price there. Okay, we're on that 100. For me, stop a break of that 100 of the extension fib. I tight stop there. Struggling 11. We should see that 11. Now, so close to TP there. And there we go. He take profit on that one. Perfectly on that 11 of the 1-minute grid. Okay, we've got to wait for a 2-candle retracement before we start putting a buy stop in. What I will do, just to save a bit of time, is I'll put one in. I'll just put it somewhere.
It's like we found the lower opening range still.
Yeah, we must watch that. We're getting very close. 3 minutes to go.
The candle close above 100, break previous candle high is trigger. Just wait for the previous highs. You can see the previous daily high is just above that 100. Might be possible double top on 5.
Yeah, thanks. We can see it nicely on the 5-minute grid as well. 1-minute grid. Okay, so there is no buy stops at the moment. I'll just put it in at top here. So that if we do get that candle retracement, we can just pull it down. Because he's starting to move rapidly towards that 161 target high low. All of a sudden, we've just got speed here. Just bear in mind, 2 minutes for opening range. We'll be looking at the possible highs. 1-minute grid, we're going to trail. 5-minute grid, we're going to trail as well. All the way to the 161 extension fail. A very choppy opening first couple of candles, and right here at the end, we just started to move. A minute to go for opening range. This is our first candle retracement. So, still can break the highs. And 2 seconds to go, and then we've got our opening range. It's our second candle retracement. Let's see if that's going to stay below the highs. Then we can pull down our buy stop and put it at the highs there.
Previous candle highs to along daily high. Just watch risk to reward is just a little bit less than 50-50.
Yeah, I wouldn't trade that on 5 minute, but I'll definitely chase it on the 1 minute. I just want that to stay red, or at least stay below this. Close slowly. Just our opening range. I'll put this levels in now. That is our high. That's 61.8. This. Break that high. Is a trigger. I'm put it slightly above because that is the 61.8 of the opening range. It can be strong resistance. We know that. So I'd rather have a clear break and then go. So put it a couple of points above level. See how that pulls off quite rapidly now. Moving it in is valid, slightly higher. So we put a break at least and get that trigger long on the daily high low. 5 minute, we have to, obviously on the opening range, we know we have to wait. Right. I'm going to get my levels in here quickly on the opening range here. We know where our high is. Next trigger for short will be stochastic down to 50. Otherwise, long will be our and chaser, break the highs. Yeah, we've got a nice range. Wasn't looking all that good at the beginning, but now it's looking a lot better if we look at that opening range. All right, it's picked up my buy stop. Look in the highs. Oof, so close. Now we've hit TP.
What's for that trigger long on the range?
That gives me some time just to put in my levels here. Cool. My opening range levels I'm on the screen. Minutes to go for the next 5 minute candle. Let's see if we're going to close above that 61.8 and get that trigger long. Daily high low, I think has trigger.
Yeah,
but that risk to reward is a bit 50-50, but it's triggered.
We do have targets to aim for.
ALSI, he take profit 161 perfectly. That's a nice trade. Yes, see, 150 point trade from entry. Waiting for the 2 candle retracement. Stop again. Wait for the candle retracement, so it's not valid.
Here's the opening range, terrible. First target, 28 points.
Oh, yeah. Fantastic. Coming up for half past candle as well. See if we're going to get that trigger on the opening range. Risk reward is still fine. That's all. A candle, break previous candle high. Is a trigger long opening range as well? I won't take the break. I'll wait for that candle retracement as our rule is. 5-minute grid, we're going to trail. 1-minute grid, we're going to trail.
That's open.
See the keys there, son? Yeah, opening range, I think, is triggered. I've got no triggers at the moment. We didn't get a 2-candle retracement. Got close, but no cigar. Opening range triggered. Risk reward was fine. First target's around that 15,349. I've got no extension for viewing here at the moment. Just going to move that out of the way. Trading this 5-minute grid. Those ranges are becoming quite big now from the lows of yesterday. Got about 13 points there now. 30 points there between levels. Okay, we're starting to pull off a little bit. Let's see if we can get that 2-candle retracement. And then we'll put our buy stop in. So we got the, geez, I don't know. Is that higher? No, top. Take it. 17.4. That's exactly the high and low in the same place. Still got first target opening range to aim for. First target really high low. What's that number, Monet?
I don't know. From 127, that is 15,309. And the final target 15,374.
15,309. So we've hit first target at daily high low. Okay, so we've got outstanding second target to go.
But we hit the 38.2 of wheatie to the T.
That can be strong. Thanks for that. Inside the consolidation, we can see the other side on the hourly. It's not a trigger. Oof, we've broken. Oh, again, 1, 2, 3 candles, same price. I'll take and say I'd rather sit this one out at 38.2.
Yeah.
I'd rather sit it out, wait for a clear break, and then take the next one if it happens. Nasdaq oversold at the moment. However, it's above the 89. As long as it stays there, we want to remain long. The target's outstanding there. This candle is slightly broken those highs, so we keep trailing. So what, no extension for let's wait for the 2-candle retracement and then a clear break.
Yeah.
I just want to see, yeah, that's that 127. I hit, broke it, and then pulled back. And as Monet said, look how we've respected 38 perfectly. That can be very, very strong. Of that, we've got 189, zone moving average. There we go. We've got first target opening range still outstanding. 127, we've hit really high low. I'm very scared of that 38.2, the weekly high low. I'm still pondering if I'll take this long, if it does break. Otherwise, if we look at the stochastic for now, down through 50 is a trigger for a short. The trend is clearly up, but we've got a nice fan now. So we can start looking at aiming for zone moving averages, green to red, red to blue. And that doesn't look too bad if we look at those levels. To red, we've got 23 points, nothing wrong with that. And red to blue, we've got 32 points. Sorry, it's on the side. That's the side. Yeah, it's still the second candle, so if it does close below the highs, it's a valid and chaser. As I said, I'm very scared of that 38.2, but we have that target outstanding. I don't know. Little 50-50 at this trade. I'm going to put it in slightly above. It's time to break. Let's pick me up. I'm going to have a tight stop here. I'm scared of that 38.2. To the lows, I'm out. So I'm going to have quite a tight stop here. Because we're at that resistance level of the 38.2, the weekly high low. I'm going to grip trails, 5-minute grip trails. 5 minutes, I want to be long. First target, opening range. I want to be long. Second target of daily high low. Resistance is at 38.2, the weekly high low. If we can close inside there, we can see the other side. Signal line is very high on the stochastic. It's got no grid levels. That's my hassle here. Only got 5 minutes to aim for. Close. Oof, it hit. I'm going to stop to entry. It hit my TP and it hasn't taken me out. I'd rather go stop to entry at these 38.2s. Look at the previous 1 minute candle. That's my stop. It's pretty much at entry. I'm out. I'm not messing around with that 38.2 the weekly high low. So stop the entry. Happy I'm taking that one. No real loss there. We'll wait for the next one rather. Keep trailing our grids. You know, it can still go. That was like pretty much a risk-free trade. I'm pretty fine with that 38.3. Next trigger for a short, stochastic down through 50. Possibility of separation happening.
The 38.2 weekly is still so strong.
Now I'm over the moon that I've taken that stop. It's already 15 points down.
We have triggered an opening, but
yeah,
significant for resistance.
That's the thing. You know, it's a 5 minute trade, and it can take time. So, right, watch for the possibility of that separation for a long. Otherwise, stochastic down through 50. Could be the first leg down. Just watch off that 38.2 of the weekly high low. Support also coming up back to the 61.8 of the opening range. separation triggers. Let's just see how much space we've got in the possibility. Drops them back at that. It's not much, eh? Okay, so it's setting up for that separation. I won't take it. We just don't have enough space there. Very close to that trigger. I've got a valid extension for, but what I'm going to do is just trail these lows for now. Separation has triggered long. As I said, I'm not taking it. We just don't have the space. Next short will be stochastic down to 50. Watch the zone moving averages into red. Not quite at red yet. Candle close below red. We can aim for the 50. That is 40 points. One-minute grid, we need a moving average cross to confirm. 5-minute, we need a moving average cross to confirm that grid. Same on the 1 minute. That's starting to push. I keep trailing this. It's still not a valid extension flip. We hit that 22 low moving average break. Excuse me, break previous candle low. We can aim for the 50. Just haven't got a trigger for that. Stochastic now. One, two, three, four, five. So 6th candle on the highs. We keep trailing it till we get a 50% retracement with 8 candles. We got the 7th candle now. Seventh candle. It supported the 61.8 opening range. You see how strong that's the resistance level of the weekly high low has been from there. Stochastic down through 50, trigger for a short. It is the first leg down. Really like to see the 8 candle extension for at least.
Have now support from 61.8 of opening range.
Yeah, perfect. Thanks for that. Can be strong as well. We know opening range is triggered. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's our 8th candle. If we get a 50% retracement now, that extension flip is valid. ALSI is still going to the sky. Okay, watch for that 50% retracement, that separation. Looks like it wants to trigger again. 20 points in the direction of 5-minute trend. Now, extension flip, even if we get the 50% retracement, we've only got about 5 points level to level. Very tight. Like 50% retracement. Stochastic is starting to slow down a little bit. And watch for that possible separation. Direction of the trend, just watch for the 50% retracement. Give you a little ABC down, first leg. Trend is still up on 1 minute and on 5 minute. It slowed down a little bit. You can see the size of the candles as well. 30 minutes to go for our 11 o'clock candle. Very close to that 50% retracement now. Extension fib level to level, it's just not worth trading for me.
No, not at all. When we have resistance again from that first target, very high level. That has been holding support from 61, so we kind of pushed in between.
Yeah, just see that this is where we are. It's like these right to low there at 12 points. Stochastic down to 50. So the trigger for short, it's a possibility, yeah. First leg down, little A, B, more than 38% retracement. So for ABC, that's qualifying. I would like this extension to really respect that 50 level. Extension for fail to the 127 is 10 points. Keep an eye on that 50 moving average as well. Okay. Extension fib is valid. Watch 61.8, break of that 77. Can't trade that. Which is 5 points. And look at a buy stop at the 100. I'm going to park for that one. We have taken it before as a stop to entry, and it's because it's at that 38.2, the weekly high low. We've got 10 minutes for the current hourly candle. If we can close back inside there, we can see the other side. But we know that 38.2 can be very strong, as we've seen. So for now, I'm a little bit more interested in the short. We do get stochastic down to 50. Otherwise, a clear break and we can set up again, then sure. You know, we're aiming for that first target opening range still. The 61 and 77% retracement to that move, little ABC down. Aiming for the 50 moving average. For triggers, I'll take it because we have had an extension fib here, a nice little retracement, separation that already happened. And clearly still up, all time frames here, and 5. ALSI is still going.
Break the previous candle high on the top and to the long daily hollow. And opening range as well.
What's that range like this morning? Better than that? Okay.
65, it is better.
Yeah, that's not bad for the morning.
But surprisingly, the tech gave us a pretty decent risk reward. Yeah.
Watch for that trigger short and stochastic, otherwise break the highs for trend chaser. As I said, I'm sitting that one out for now at the resistance of the 38.2.
Just what's interesting.
The consolidation area on extension fib, and it's such a tight extension fib. ALSI looks like it wants to go to that 70,000 level I was talking about doing setups. I said it can still happen this week. It can still happen today. It only needs to go another 400 points. Okay, watch the stochastic down through 50. I said I'll take that one of the triggers. Watch just for the possibility of double bottom here. A little bit scared of that. Break of those lows, extension for fail, 127 and 50 moving average. I don't want to wait for that. Follow through. Watch that 11. 7 minutes to go for 11 o'clock. Any candle there. 3 of the 1 minute grid. Below the 89 of the 5 now. Holding for now, 11, some people away from 33. About 20 points away from that 50 moving average, but it is catching up rapidly as we've gone a bit sideways, yeah. Separation is not valid. Oh, not bad, it's not valid, it's just a bit shallow. Still looking at that short. Watch at 11 on the extension fib. Possible down bottom.
We're really just trading above, well, now below the 127 daily high. The support is the 8 moving average. But let's see how far we are from the 50 moving average. Quite far.
Quite far.
We're now about 70 points.
Yeah. 1 minute's caught up quite quickly. Yeah, we're still at a distance from 5. I see a break of these double bottoms. The stochastic is starting to set up for that trigger. Where we are to the double bottoms, about 12, 13, 14 points. I will take it even if it hasn't broken the lows. We're going to be just scared of that 11 and 0. So tight stop again. Mindful of the 11 o'clock candle coming up. Extension foot doesn't move. Watching 11:33 on top of each other again. It's gone rubbish. As I'm going to call it then, we've got 3 minutes to go for 11 o'clock candle. I don't want to take a trade right now. That trigger, for sure. And we, as Monet said, we're far away from the 50 moving average on 5. It is getting to that time. I'd rather sit this one out. Not a bad session.
Not a bad session.
A little bit difficult at times. There it is. It's starting to trigger. We'll be back this afternoon. Monet, thanks for your support.
Awesome, man.
Yeah.
Great trading.